Yo, what's up, guys? Terrell here, an Insane Game Freak, Schizomanic here. Back with another Pokemon 2019 episode review. I believe we're on episode 4, which is our introduction to Scorbunny and in the region of Galar. 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 so interesting episode. Ironically enough, I think we see Magnolia in the news article, and the reason why they're going is because of the phenomena of giant Pokemon, which, ironically enough, will come up next episode based off of the preview. But this episode is pretty much an episode focused on like Scorbunny. It was funny because I had a friend who was like, before this episode came out, was like, "Oh, Ash is gonna lose against Scorbunny," and I was like, well, that's the kind of shit I would need to hear anyway, even if it was true. Spoiler alert, it's not true. Ash wipes the floor with him, but I'm starting to understand what kind of version of Ash this is. Because, like, it's definitely a carryover from Sun and Moon. He's very, like, childlike, but they're kind of, I don't know, I guess next to Go, it kind of really exemplifies what kind of person this version of Ash is. And the answer to that question is really that Ash is Ash. Ash is Ash as he will ever be, and he's unapologetically so. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. He is him, and he will never stop being him. Now, people may not like it because he comes off very childish and naive. But I think that's the whole point, is that Ash is supposed to be viewed as a free spirit, which is funny because in a way he's always kind of been that way, just not to this degree. This is very He's a very free, like, he's one of, ironically enough, I would say he's one of those creative thinkers, like one of those guys that would like get to a solution the same time as you, but like go a completely different route, like a route that you didn't even think was possible. That's kind of guy he is. Although this episode isn't really focused on him, it's more so a Scorbunny episode and a Go episode, kind of. That Go like really enjoys his personality, but it's part of the reason why he enjoys Ash so much is the fact that like Ash is so different and he's so open about being so different. Um, Although Ash still kind of serves as like the more what's what I'm looking for? Not mature, but like he's definitely the veteran in this situation. I think a good example of that is towards the end when like Go's giving the speech to Scorbunny about how they can live anywhere and not to give up. And then Ash comes up right behind him and undercuts him and goes, "Well, this guy's just figuring it out himself." And he's like, "What do you mean? No, I'm not." Like, that's a good moment for Ash in the sense that like, yeah, I've been doing this shit for years. Like, you taking you a while to get on my level, and that's fine. And there's no hate there, but like, you're still trying to get your shit together too. It's a cool moment. The Scorbunny stuff with the Nickit, which I didn't think they were gonna do. I didn't even realize Nickit was in this episode because the way I think the preview was didn't even show them. I think it was literally, or if they were shown, they were only shown for a second, so there was nothing to make me assume that the whole episode was gonna be like based around Scorbunny and its relationship to the Nickit. The fact that like it covers itself in dirt to seem more familiar with the Nickit because the Nickit are darker colors. I feel like saying Nickit so many times is gonna literally turn into like a word that I'm gonna get uh canceled for it. So I need to watch myself. I say this being black, but you know, when the fuck have we cared? No, I'm being stupid. But the Naked backstory was cool. I thought the best part of it is the fact that like towards the end, the Naked obviously came to the realization that like Go had like touched Scorbunny emotionally to the point where they clicked, and at that moment you could tell he wanted to be his Pokemon. Um, they just didn't do it as an overblown way, but the Nickit realized that Scorbunny wasn't gonna just leave them. So of course, the way they do is they carry him all the way to the station, throw him in the train, and before he leaves, show him, show them doing the same things that he was doing, like kicking a can or kicking an item, and then like shooting it into like a basket, but then at the same time doing the whole, and then patting their ass thing. Like, it was a good like we'll be all right, we can survive, which works well with like Go's whole thing earlier talking about don't give up, keep trying, you can survive. there's a huge world out there. You guys will be all right. Saying essentially the same thing. And it's a nice episode. That part really hit home for me because I was like, oh, that's how dare you, Pokemon? How dare you give me this emotional moment and you think you better than me? How dare you? But it was a good moment. Generally, I genuinely enjoyed it. There's not a lot else to it. I mean, the first half is literally them just chasing the Nickit and Scorbunny around, Ash fighting and beating it, and then Go essentially being inspirational and touching Scorbunny's heart. So I don't. There's not much to it. Next week, it's interesting considering the Snorlax raid battles just started in the game, and that seems to be the max raid battle, or at least the Gigantamax Pokemon they're going to feature for the next episode. I find it cool that it kind of correlates. It's all part of that fucking marketing, baby. Cool, there's a Gigantamax Snorlax. I want one of those. Well, go check out the games. There's a raid going on right now. Once again, I need to get like a Galar hat. And I'm curious how long they're going to spend in Galar. Because they're running, the whole point of them going was for the giant Pokemon, which they meet next week. So, and he's probably going to catch Scorbunny next week, like officially. So my question then is like, is that it? Like, is that how we're going to get a Galar? Are they going to jump to Hoenn or in like different parts too? I don't know. It kind of depends. I mean, we're only early episodes, so we don't know yet. But I'm curious to see where this goes. Like I said, I can appreciate this Ash for what he is. I just also understand that a lot of people may not like it because it's very different. Like if you were in my age group and you grew up in like either generation 1 or 2 of the anime, this is not even close. Ironically enough, that version of Ash is the closest to this version of Ash, but it's not. It's nowhere near the same, and also in the same thing. Like they're the most similar, but they're not the same. So I can imagine if you're an old school fan, you're kind of looking at this Ash and going, eh. Like he's probably more active in what some would say cute, but like he's not like the same. He's not scrappy with it, I guess. He's more like childlike wonder 90% of the time. But I can appreciate him in these subtle moments. I don't know if he'll, depending on where the series goes, depends on how much of him will get like explored. But like this early stuff has been fine. I don't really have too much of an issue with it. So yeah, I think that's really all I got to say. It was a nice episode. I really enjoyed the Nickit Scorbunny stuff, especially towards the end where they mimic him. It's I think that's a really good scene. And yeah, I'm enjoying Ash's and Go's dynamics. So, like I said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for the support. Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Like and favorite and subscribe and hit the notification bell because you know YouTube won't notify you unless you click a second subscribe button, which defeats the purpose of the first subscribe button. But YouTube don't want to get their shit together. And with that, that was the gameplay to win. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.